Thank you very much for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be with you all. Thanks to Pakistan and thanks to the OIC for organizing such panel. First, I would say congratulations for the happy International Women's Day. It's a difficult, very difficult questions, but I would like to start by a tweet today from the Grand Imam Sheikh Al-Azhar when saying that the Islamic Sharia has precedence over all legislative systems concerning the liberation of women. The Holy Quran restored women's dignity, drew the attention of humanity to their pivotal role in shaping societies, established their rights, preserved their dignity, and prohibited assaulting them or degrading them in any way. And this was the tweet on the International Women's Day from the Grand Imam Sheikh Al-Azhar. Saying this, it's not easy for any woman to reach the highest decision-making, not only Muslim women. This we have to think that it's a societal barrier rather than a religious obstacle. The empowering women and girls as well as gender mainstreaming are critical for long-term sustainable development. While there is noticeable progress, programs and mega initiatives that have resulted in positive changes, continuing addressing and working towards investment in promoting gender equality and women's empowerment and girls in member states and communities will never be enough. Will never be enough without the real ideational change and the real engagement of the community. It may take longer and longer years. Some say 158, some say 286, some say around 130 years. It takes generation to obtain this equality. Having said that, the comprehensive approach to achieving women's empowerment and girls' engagement and empowerment is the game changer for more sustainable, durable, and impactful contribution of women and girls in our member states. It is a process with diverse elements comprising of legislation, policies, social, economic, and cultural measures to support the empowerment agenda. The political will and leadership, as well as government commitment, can create the enabling environment for all stakeholders to invest in the advancement of women's and girls' rights and make it visible national political priority. Egypt was the first country to work and launch a strategy that is related to the Sustainable Development Goals in 2016. Confirming that country's commitment to achieving the empowerment of Egyptian women and its will to play an active role in the advancement of women. The National Strategy for the Empowerment of Egyptian Women 2030 was adopted by the President of Egypt in 2017, and this was for the first time ever. And His Excellency, the President, provided directive to the government of Egypt to adopt all its contents and consider it as a guide and a roadmap for all the work concerning the empowerment of women in the country. Historic decisions had been made in the said enabling political environment where women has been appointed for the first time ever in public prosecution, in the State's Council, dealing as governors and elsewhere, providing a strong foundation and a network for policies and strategies addressing women and girls' issues or relevant in another fundamental step. Egypt launched the strategy within a bigger strategy of Egypt, which is called Egyptian Vision 2030, and our strategy is monitored and evaluated through a national observatory through 34 indicators. Strengthening the leadership and the participation of women and girls in all decision-making process is actually the presence of the country at this stage. We want to make sure that our girls, the future of Egypt, has no glass ceiling or iron walls or iron doors that they are not allowed to enter. Reflecting on the Egyptian context, the percentage of Egyptian women in the parliament has increased to reach 28%, 14% members of the Senate, 25% of women in the cabinet, 56% in the diplomatic corps, 27% as vice ministers, or 31% as governors, and 44% of women in the National Council of Human Rights. It's important, as I said, the legislative or the policy framework in the country. National laws has been amended to ensure that sexual harassment, bullying, protection of data of victims from violence, female genital mutilation, the whole legislative reform addressing violence and victims of violence has been conducted and implemented in Egypt. It's extremely important to reshape the ideas that is saying, for example, FGM is part of the Sharia. The Sharia is the general jurisprudence of Islam will never, and by any means, will never hurt or discourage or influence badly the Muslim woman in any of our countries. Actually, there is respect, there is high commitment by Muslim women throughout the nation, and there is also, as we say, a support and a political will and a guardianship at large. Strengthening of the economic system, and thanks to the OI, the Women Development Organization, of the film that has been mentioning Sayyida Khadija, the first entrepreneur in the Islamic society, and giving the encouragement to women, saying that they can be entrepreneurs, they can be decision makers, they can be politicians, they can be acting in any place, is extremely important. Saying that Muslim women has to have the right, Muslim women has no barriers, and Muslim women are supported by the Holy Quran and by God. Thank you very much.